archaeological, theological, and astronomical-based discoveries of the LAURELD Myth of Chicago, Illinois, actually reveals the book of Genesis, 49 chapter and 8 verse, couching Ethiopian lion sphinx of the tribe of Judah, face image upon the most ancient city, stone step pyramid temple wall image of a stone 6-point star. This would be the original 6-point star of Babylon, in which is shown in the 12th planet, or in which is shown upon the YouTube. There was a Jewish archaeologist called named Zacharias Sitchin, who actually used the stone 6-point star of the African continent civilization of Ham temple walls to prove a point about the 12th planet surrounding a 6-point star. Well, I'm using the same Babylonian stone 6-point star tablet or outer surface area to show that the African continent children of Ham in the book of Psalms 105:23 leaves Babylon, the B area. I have the Google map in which I show the correct image of the African continent. I put a big red A there, and then the thin strip of water, and then you have the V-shaped piece of land, which I put a big red B on it. So the Judea is at the top of the B area of the V-shaped piece of land. Jerusalem is underneath. Syria is under Jerusalem, and Iraq, which is where Babylon is in the Bible, is under is below Jerusalem. Is Syria is below Jerusalem, and then Iraq is below Syria, and then Arabia is below, is at the bottom of the V-shaped piece of land. So if we draw a line going east, reminiscent of the Exodus, the false Exodus story in which we read in the 400-year-old mistranslated European King James Bible text lies, that concealed the African continent civilization of Ham, Gizasphinx line of the tribe of Judah, 6-point star origin of ancient Judaism. So if we put all the pieces together, we will be correcting archaeologists around the world concerning the children of Ham, Judean 6-point star of Babylon. So if we draw a straight line going east from the Gizasphinx in ancient Egypt, across the thin strip of water that separates the northeast African continent coastline, A, into B, that straight line intersects the Judean desert area. So most ministers and preachers and archaeologists have no clue to the original, before the flood of Noah, Babylonian flood of Noah, land surface topography of the black man facing a lion's body, in which we now see couched down in front of the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramids. This will be the couching Ethiopian lion sphinx of the tribe of Judah. So as we squeeze A, the African continent, back unto B, the V-shaped piece of land, where Judea is at the top, Jerusalem is below Judea, and then we will see that Babylon and Judea is synonymous with ancient Judaism. Whereas if we read the English King James Bible and history books, it tells a whole new, different, false story about the African continent children of Ham leaving Babylon. The oldest kingdom in the Middle East is Babylon. The oldest kingdom in the Bible is Samaria, Judea, and Babylon of the African continent civilization of Ham. Well, since the King James Bible European narrative is revealing that everybody upon the African continent is referred to as Ham. Everybody in Europe is referred to the children of Shem. Okay, everybody in China and Japan is referred to as the children of Japheth. So, the oldest kingdom of the African continent civilization of Ham is Babylon, Egypt, Ethiopia, Judea, and Samaria. So if we squeeze A, the African continent, back to B, we will have one huge African continent, where this is before the flood of Noah, where water swept over the entire surface of planet Earth and changed the land surface. We have movies about the Sphinx is older than what historians state. Well, now we can prove that before the Babylonian flood of Noah, which is the Noah's flood in the King James Bible, we had one huge African continent, whereas Judea and Jerusalem, according to Ezra 1:3, as the first chapter, 3rd verse, it says, "Let us go up to Jerusalem, which is located in the land of Judah, and build the house of the Lord God." Well, if we go back and revisit the Exodus story and compile it with Psalms 105:23, 12 sons of Jacob, or the European-faced Israelites, leaving an all-black African continent kingdom of Ham called Babylon that already has a stone 6-point star with a central sun, and there's 12 planets surrounding the tip of the 6-point star, and which we now know to be the outer space area of heaven. Whereas in the book of Joshua, the sun appeared to stand still and did not go down for a whole day. Well, today with telescopes in astronomy, we can look up and see that the sun is shining 93 million miles distance away across the black outer region of space towards the blue basketball-shaped Earth. So if today the sun is in outer space, then if we use the sun standing still in the Bible narrative, the sun appeared to stand still in outer space. Okay, but that's where the heaven is. Now, if we look up that word heaven, now we see the Gizasphinx in heaven in outer space. Why? Because he's at the base of the Babylonian stone 6-point star tablet. So I blew that up, and that's the image you've seen on the video. The exact Gizasphinx of Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse shows himself to be the origin of the Jewish 6-point star, because Babylon, according to Psalm 105:23, there was no European-faced Israelites leaving Babylon and crossing Euphrates River, leaving B and crossing over into A, Egypt. Now we see that a straight line going from A into B intersects the Judean desert. But we also have the book of Galatians, true Mount Sinai in Arabia. Now that's the Jabal al-West area, or Jabal, ALLAWZ, al-West. Jabal al-West is where the true Mount Sinai is, or UFOs, circle of UFOs was landing in the B area of the true Mount Sinai. Now, what's so important about this is that if we use Google Map and area view the Jabal al-West area, we're going to see mountains shaped like the Gizasphinx. Even if you look down upon the Gizasphinx in Egypt from a helicopter, you're going to see the same couching body form of a lion in the Jabal al-West mountain area. But we also see mountains in the original book of Galatians. Mount Sinai is in Arabia narrative. So if we look at this black sphinx being taken above the atmospheric regions of planet Earth and into the outer regions of space, if we use the book of Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse, couching Ethiopian lion thinks of the tribe of Judah script, it says, "Judah, thou art going up." Now Prophet Elijah was caught up in the whirlwind. Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, was caught up into a circle of going willing within the world like your foe. So the false European King James Bible narrative, theological based form of racism 400 years ago in the 16th century, totally lied about the African continent, children of Ham, Babylonian ancient stone 6-point star. Since the oldest city in the Bible is Babylon, Judea, and Samaria, the oldest city in the Middle East is the African continent, Babylonian kingdom of Ham. Therefore, if we go back into like 10,000 years ago, we will see black kings ruling Jerusalem, black kings and ruling Judea, black kings ruling Samaria, black kings in Ethiopia. So what are we discovering? That the European King James Bible, that theological based form of racism, concealed your African continent ancient history, whereas the Gizasphinx 6-point star has the central sun. The European King James Bible placed the white man as the focus of the Jewish 6-point star, okay, which is totally false. But if we go back to ancient Egypt, we see a sun with wings on the Egyptian temple walls. If we go back to ancient Babylon, we see stone 6-point stars that have the central sun. So the solar theology of the Gizasphinx lion of the tribe of Judah is Malachi 4:2 Egyptian sun that was wiped out the Bible. Now we see it as Psalm 34:11 sun throne, but in 1 John 1:1 we see it as the biblical light that exists in the black outer region of space before it created the 5 billion year old world. Now, this is also the biblical light that lights every man that comes into the world. We can see this with the electron microscope and microbiology 101, where we see the chemical circular area of the cell, a black dot in the center of the cell nucleus. If we look closely, we'll see a rotating circle hydrogen-like plasma. The same hydrogen-like plasma that's coming 93 million miles away across the black outer region of space from the magnetic rotating ball of hydrogen-like plasma. We call it the biblical light that created the world, which is the sun that comes up every morning. So as the solar theology of the sun outranks all the false European man-based Lord God world religion characters, then we have to rethink the European false man-based Lord God world religion narrative, because they placed a bearded old man called Jehovah that has a penis underneath his white robe in outer space, creating a blue basketball-shaped earth which is 5 billion years old first. And in the first book of the Bible called Genesis, they placed a white man, I call it the false European man-based Lord God world religion character, called Jehovah, in outer space, creating a 5 billion year old world before 1 John 1:1, 15 billion year old sun throne, which is the biblical light that exists in the black outer region of space before it created the 5 billion year old world. So this is theologically and astronomically incorrect to fall down and worship a false man-based European Lord God world religion characters such as Jesus or Jehovah. Because if we look at the solar theology of the Gizasphinx of the human Ka and Ba, soul light and mind light, what we see is that the biblical light in 1 John 1:1 that exists in the black outer region of space before it created the 5 billion year old world, we can see it glowing around all the chemical circular cells that make up the human body. That is, if you take a cotton swab of your saliva, blood, you're going to see red blood cells shaped like donuts, tiny microscopic donuts that have white light around them. You're going to see white corpuscles and platelets, the cells, the chemical circular cells that heal the human body and protect the human body from diseases. We're going to see the chemical circular cells and the black dot in the center of the white corpuscles and the platelets. But we will also see the light of God, which is hydrogen light. But this hydrogen light, through photosynthesis, is traveling 93 million miles away across the black outer region of space. There's 7 rainbows in the hydrogen light, or coming from the throne of God in the book of Revelation. So there's the biblical light that outranks all the false European man-based Lord God world religion characters, because this light is creating fruits and vegetables, apples and oranges for the purple man, the pink man, the blue man, the white man, the black man. It's shining on the entire blue basketball-shaped earth. So the biblical light is feeding the entire human race as it grows fruits and vegetables and apples and oranges in the jungle through photosynthesis. So if we go back to the focus of ancient Judaism, was ancient Egypt's solar theology of the Gizasphinx. We now see the Gizasphinx lion of the tribe of Judah, in which we now see cast down in front of the Isaiah 19:19, North African Egyptian pyramids. So share this video, and thank you for viewing LAURELD Smith of Chicago, Illinois' latest archaeological, theological, and astronomical based discovery image.